this is the type of stuff that just makes me just woo. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are all out there doing well. Welcome to my channel. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. I really do thank and appreciate every last one of you taking time out of your day. I hope it's a beautiful one or evening to watch my content. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to see more of it, whether it's the music reactions, the comedy, make sure you click the like button so that my content can consistently be recommended to you. I cannot stress that enough, ladies and gentlemen, and double check to make sure you are subscribed, all right? Follow me up here and down here, okay? Huge shout out to the family that I met in Peoria at the zoo, Jason and his wife, Courtney, their son, Jude, his girlfriend, Madison, their two beautiful sons. They're minors, so I'm not going to tell you their names. Don't worry about it. Anyway, really nice talking to you guys. Again, shout out to you for taking time out of y'all day for us to even talk. Really had a great time. Really appreciate the support you guys give me in this channel, all right? Let's get ready to get into this, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the type of stuff that burns me. I told y'all, to me, when it comes to dealing with black issues, at this moment, in this time, in this era that we're in, Al Sharpton and people like Jesse Jackson, NAACP, Black Lives Matter, they are irrelevant right now because we're not facing the same issues that they faced during those times. But I'm not going to waste you guys' time because y'all know I want to get into stuff like this because I love to dissect it and break it down. If you are somebody and you have a problem with me pausing the video, you're going to have an issue with this because I'm going to be pausing, just giving you a warning. If you want to see this whole video in its entirety, go over to MSNBC and just type in, Al Sharpton versus Rep Donalds, okay? Byron Donalds. So let's get ready to get into this, folks. So here it is that I'm setting you guys up. Al Sharpton is getting ready to question Byron Donalds on his talk of how black people were during the Jim Crow laws. But watch how they try to flip it on him, though. Check it out. Watch this.
The head of the DNC, Jamie Harrison, both of them black. One of them black from Brooklyn, like you were born in Brooklyn, I was born in Brooklyn. What's your response?
My response is that it's very interesting how people can just lie and mischaracterize what I said. The video's on my social media. Go to @Byron Donalds. You can listen to it in full. I never said or insinuated anything about Jim Crow being better. Just was talking about the marriage rates of black families in America during that time period. It's an empirical fact.
You mentioned Jim Crow. Wait a minute. I watched your video. You mentioned Jim Crow 4 times. One time you referred to families. All families did less. They had higher divorce rates in the 60s and 70s as the nation opened up. This wasn't because of Jim Crow kept blacks together. Blacks couldn't vote. Those families couldn't go downtown. I mean, to in any way infer that the families, black families, were better than Jim Crow. I mean, I've said things that I've later said I shouldn't have said it that way.
I've never said that.
Can't you own that even sanitizing Jim Crow, even if that wasn't your intention, was to say, that's my intention, I'm sorry for using those words?
Well, first of all, I never sanitized Jim Crow. I was just talking about the era in which black marriage rates were higher than they were during the Great Society and every other point in American history.
Why did you say Jim Crow?
Because that's a period of time, Reverend.
The period of time was the 50s, if you want to say the 50s.
That's when it happened.
You said Jim Crow.
That's when it happened. Because that was the era in which marriage rates were higher. Look, you had Joe Biden a couple of years ago talking about Jim Crow 2.0.
Congressman.
Look how he doesn't want Byron Donalds to eat him alive. That's why would you say Jim Crow? Dude, why would you ask a question and not let me answer it? Why would you do that? You keep saying Jim Crow. It's so convenient that they don't want to use Jim Crow when he used it, but then when they want to go back and try to pimp everybody like they do right now in 2024, they say during Jim Crow, y'all did this to us. How come you don't say during the 1950s and 60s y'all did this to us? See what I'm saying? They trying to twist this man words. He did not say because of Jim Crow, blacks were bad. He did not say that. He just simply said during Jim Crow, that era, this is what happened. They're slick with this. Al Sharpton and them are just good at doing what they're doing by trying to pimp people, by trying to gaslight is what they do. For example, when we talk about things that happened post-slavery, late 1800s, what do you want? Post-slavery, late 1800s? Do you want the 1890s? What do you want? Post-slavery, period. Anyway.
Talking about Georgia's law, he lied. He lied then. So are we not allowed to talk about that era, or only are we allowed to talk about it when we do want to recall all the history of Jim Crow
era,
and all the tragedies that occurred during Jim Crow.
If we are going to
choose
talk
which one we're
about the era, Congressman, and you name a race-based law, then you cannot take race out of the fact Jim Crow was a law against black people. You weren't just talking about the era of Dwight Eisenhower and Harry Truman. You named Jim Crow. There's only...
Okay. He named Jim Crow. So what? Why are you fixated on Jim Crow? Oh, because it has to do with racism. See, you quickly took away the positivity that Byron was talking about, the fact that black families were together, stronger, almost more married than white people during that time. But oh no, Jim Crow had everything to do with race. We're not talking about racism during Jim Crow. We're talking about what was going on for families during Jim Crow. Let me continue. That's why Al Sharpton, I know that's why NAACP, Al Sharpton and them don't reach out for me, because I'm not like everybody. I'm not going to be, no, I'm going to give it back. Anyway, Byron's doing a good job.
Only one way you could deal with Jim Crow, and that's by race. I mean, look, you and I had mutual friends. People say you're a straight shooter. We may disagree on politics. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But look, you were born in Brooklyn. You went down into the South, went to Florida State. You have an interracial marriage. You're the congressman of a district that's not a black district. I mean, how can you even live with yourself acting like Jim Crow was a good era or better era for blacks? What happened to you?
Okay, that's real cute. That's real cute.
Exactly. He never said that.
I'm not being cute. I'm asking you a straight up question. That against me, because right now you're lying about what I said. I did say Jim Crow. I did reference it 3 times. That's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mentees that are watching, I know y'all getting tired of me pausing. I understand it. No, 4 times. What? So what? Who cares? You are trying to deflect from this truth and this fact that Byron is about to bring you. Don't let him do it.
Say that it was better. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that. And the difference between me and a lot of other Republicans, I'm not going to sit here.
You said it was better for us.
I'm not going to let you
under Jim Crow to bring families together. Did you say that?
Hakeem Jeffries was lying. The Biden campaign was lying. Go look at my words.
Well,
that's when you know you're telling the truth. Byron, thank you so much for doing that. I'm not like other Republicans. I'm not going to sit here and let you lie on me. You're lying. Everybody else is lying. You're lying. He is telling us, go watch the video. Go watch it.
All right. People can look at your words. Did I say Jim Crow was
better? No, I did not.
You said
I did not say Jim Crow was better.
I never said it was good.
I did not have nostalgia. I never said any of those things. I was talking about black families and black family marriage rates during that time.
Okay.
And the.
All right. Then what did Jim Crow do to contribute to black families? Hello?
I'm not talking. Oh my gosh!
You said that you said under Jim Crow, black families. So explain to me what Jim Crow did to help black families.
The marriage rates during the Jim Crow era were higher for black families up until the point of the Great Society.
No.
I did not say that. I said they were. And this is the problem. Because you're trying to say that I said because of Jim Crow marriages were at a higher rate. I did not say that. I said during.
But why
I guess
did
we
you
can't refer to
use
time
Jim Crow?
periods
Jim
there,
Crow
Reverend.
Look at that dude. Shut up, man. Dude, Al, stop it. Stop it. Al, you know exactly what. See what I'm saying? That's why I couldn't be interviewed. But Al, you know exactly what you are doing. But why you use Jim Crow? Well, because that was the era to going, but you said it 4 times. It doesn't matter how many times I said it. The fact is, black families were married more under the Jim Crow era. So you saying this because of Jim Crow? No, that's not what I said. I'm just simply stating the fact that black families were married more during Jim Crow. But it because of him? No, it's not because. Then why would you say Jim Crow? Because that was during the era. You said it for. Man, don't stop it. Stop with the gaslight, man. That's why y'all won't ever have me on y'all show.
That don't make no sense.
Well, first of all, under Great Society did programs like manpower training, model cities, train young people. HEW didn't do anything about families. It's health, education, welfare. So, I mean, what are you talking about? They were not the antithesis to marriage. I mean, Congressman, all right, let's go to this. Donald Trump suggested twice just this week.
Let me stop right there, folks, because I'm going to show y'all another clip here in a minute. But while I'm showing you guys this other clip, make sure you hit that like button for me right now. Please hit that like button, folks, so this video can continuously be recommended. Not this video, but my content can be recommended to you, the American people. We really need to get a hold of this because my young mentees are watching and we have to hit them with the facts, folks. Joy Reid also tried to come for Byron and she got completely embarrassed and she was getting kind of, getting a little snippy because he was calling out her bullcrap. She tried to do the same thing that Al Sharpton did, like they're trying to hit you with these aha moments or whatever like that. And all it simply is to do is to gaslight. It's to deflect away from the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And now, again, I want you guys to pay attention to what Byron said. But before I do, let me break some facts out to you, ladies and gentlemen. Between 1950 and 1960 in New York City itself, which had the largest black urban population in the country and where racial discrimination in employment was lawful and commonplace, the number of black accountants rose by more than 200%. The number of engineers increased by 134%. The number of school teachers grew to 125%. The rise in black physicians rose 56%, lawyers 55%, nurses 90%, social workers 146% were also striking. The Civil Rights Act and Voting Act would not be passed until the mid-1960s. So for black people to be increasing in 100-folds and increasing in large percentages during the Jim Crow era, before the Civil Rights Movement, don't sit here and try to tell me. Don't sit here and try to tell me that now we are all held back and debilitated right now in 2024. That's what I'm saying, gaslighting. So I can say that during the Jim Crow era, black people were increasing large percentages in white-collar professions. So you trying to say that because of Jim Crow, that's the no, we're just simply saying that in spite of Jim Crow laws, black people were doing good and rising to the occasion. You need to understand that when they do things like that, they try to downplay. Look how great we were doing, black people, during the time where racism and all that stuff like that was completely lawful. It was lawful to be discriminated against us, and we still became physicians, nurses, engineers, lawyers. In spite of Jim Crow, we were still doing that. Before the Civil Rights Act passed, we were doing that. But you got people like Al Sharpton and Joy Reid getting ready to get in here and simply gaslight. They don't want y'all to know this part of history. And it's a reason why, because they want to make it appear that all we ever were just ignorant. Yes, sir. I sure do suppose you. We never's going to be nothing. We works in the fields. We works picking cotton. We work out in the tomato field. We tasseling corn. We in the factory. No! We were doing white-collar jobs. In fact, the fact that blacks were entering into white-collar professions so rapidly before those landmark bills were passed tells us what they were able to accomplish even during Jim Crow. The growth of racial segregation in the 1950s did not keep black residential options from expanding. From 1940 to 1950, the earnings of black workers tripled, with substantial numbers meeting the income eligibility of home ownership suggested by the government. In 1953, a real estate journal called Blacks, then nation's newest middle class. What? 1953, a real estate journal called Blacks, the nation's newest middle class. The same year, Time wrote, the signs of Negro prosperity are everywhere. What are you talking about? See what I'm saying? We're not saying because of Jim Crow. That Jim Crow is the reason why. No, in spite of Jim Crow, this is what black people did. Now watch this right here with Joy Reid, y'all. Same exact bullcrap they're trying to get Byron on.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Wow. But I'm going to tell you this. Growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to my son. Wow. And so one of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of black families with younger black men and black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people are always a bit conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E. H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries as Wesley's contemporaries, you're starting to see more black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, "Oh, wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids?" It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth.
I am joined now by Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, thank you for being here. We played that lengthy segment. That is what you posted on your social media. The part of what you said that people take issue with is this line, which I'm going to read back to you again. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative-minded, but black people voted conservatively. But it is that during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's what people have taken issue with. What are they missing?
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats and you have the Biden campaign, and some of the media want to twist my words for political purposes. The overarching issue is talking just about black families and why you're seeing a trend of black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle and probably in election cycles to come. And part of that, is that when you're raising families, raising kids, etc., you're now thinking about all of the public policy issues, all of the economic issues, all of the education issues. And that's leading people to have divergence in political thoughts. That was the only point. The stuff that comes up about Jim Crow and twisting my words, saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for black people, that's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting. And that's truly unfortunate.
So here's the challenge, Congressman. You started out talking about your family, talking about your mom, talking about being raised, and you on your own brought up Jim Crow. In fact, you said Jim Crow 3 times for emphasis.
Alice Sharpton said 4.
It wasn't the media or the Democrats or gaslighters who brought up Jim Crow. It was you. You brought up Jim Crow. So why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You
Now listen to this.
did that. No one else did that. You did it.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation, just talking as, black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to use the chronological timeline of America before the Great Society and Lyndon Johnson's time period, you had, unfortunately, the Jim Crow era in America. During that time period, the marriage rates of black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is a divergence if you're talking about marriage rates in the black community. They have plummeted. And what we've seen recently in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the black community are rising again. That's good for black families. That's definitely good for black children. It's something I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that.
She ain't hear nothing he said. Yeah, anyway, let's
Jim
look.
Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for black families, or a time that was good for black families?
Golden era? Oh my God, look, just projecting.
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting comes in.
I'm going to read what you said.
All I was talking about was the marriage rates.
Stop.
She asked him a question. He said, I never said, boy, they hate facts.
Nope, that's not what you said. Let's play what you said. Play what he said. Play what he said.
Look at her. Play what he said. Play it. Play it. We already saw the beginning. Play it.
I said it was the golden era.
I'm going to play. I'm going to play what you said.
I said that it was better
I'm going to play what you said.
I never said that.
Play what he said.
Play what I said.
Play what he said.
Look at me. Play what he said. Play it. Play it.
Hello, I'm David Miliband, President.
Bro, what are you popping up for? Dude.
During Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back. You said during Jim Crow, the black...
No. Show me where I said it was the golden era. No, see, don't do. No. I had time out before you say anything. Show me where I said anything about the golden era, Joy.
Black family was together. What was the authority of the black father in the black family during Jim Crow?
You said that I said that it was a golden era. Show me in that video. Let's talk about show me where I said that so the people watching right now can see how much you guys lie, how much you guys gaslight.
Well, listen, under Jim Crow, obviously, Black people were under great persecution, unfortunately, by Southern Democrats and the Democrat Party overall in the history of our country. That's the fact. And so, well, let me finish now, Joy. And so having the Black man in the home was about first protecting the mom and protecting the kids. Incredibly important. It was the leadership in the home, which is incredibly valuable. And I think what we're witnessing, obviously, the last 30 years, definitely through my generation, is Black fathers being at home is incredibly important for the success of Black children going forward. And it's not just a Black thing, that's everybody. Fathers in home help to breed success for kids moving forward.
Facts. Thank you, Byron, for saying not just Black fathers, but any father. That covers everybody. But of course, we got to bring it back to race. Watch. Anyway, here goes some more stats. Children with a father are 50% less likely to suffer abuse or neglect. Y'all, anyway, that's another story right there. Some of y'all not catch it. So if they're not with their father, who gonna be doing the abuse or the neglecting? Anywho, 75% less likely to have teen birth, just having a father. 50% less likely to suffer obesity. 50% less likely to drop out of high school. 80% less likely to spend time in jail. Just having a father in the home. Now, I would say those right there would drastically be better if the father in the home was completely superiorly active in their child's life. Anyway, I'm a testament to that. Man, I love that he said everybody, though. They're not going to like this.
That is a great thing for our country. That's something that has been proven throughout time. So what I'm talking about is not the golden era of Jim Crow. That's ridiculous. I would never say that. And that is the gaslighting that I'm standing up to, because that's what Hakeem Jeffries, the Biden campaign, Jamie Harrison, and the like are trying to bring up. And unfortunately, the media has followed suit with misleading headlines, and that's wrong.
See, absolutely right. And people like Joy Reid and Al Sharpton, man, look, woo, they show little interest in facts and stats. Everything I just said to you guys earlier about how we increased by those 50% folds and all that during the Jim Crow era, during post-slavery, those stats that I just read off to you guys, Joy Reid and people like NAACP, they have little interest in that because they think you want to tell you why they have little interest in that? Because it shows that we were advancing in spite of. Don't you think that's a great message for us? Black people, we were killing it, doing good. That's something to say about us. That while we were being persecuted, while we had Jim Crow laws, while we had segregation, while we having discrimination, we were still out there becoming doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers. We were killing it. That right there would make you feel good about us. That would make you have an outlook and a perspective that look how we can persevere. Look how smart we are. Look how talented we are. But now in 2024, we don't have any of that. Not to this extent that they did. And we having this racism. Oh, come on. Come on. You talk about our ancestors, we rolling it. No, our families during the Jim Crow era who are dead may be rolling over in their graves. That they became doctors, nurses, and lawyers and all those things while having that going on. And we got an excuse right now. Bull crap.
Now I'm going to talk. Do I have a chance? Good.
Woo.
Now, you talked about the black father being in the family and being able to protect the family. First, I want to read just for our audience the definition of Jim Crow, just so we all know what we're talking about. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation. They existed essentially from the post-Civil War era. They were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Now I want to talk talk about something that happened during this era. You said that what you were talking about was the presence of the black father in the home to protect his wife and family. In 1943, in the state that you represent, in Florida, a young man named Willie James Howard, who was 15 years old, was lynched. During Christmas of 1943, Willie Howard sent cards to all of his coworkers at the Van Priest dime store in Live Oak, Florida. Unlike the other cards, Willie's card to Cynthia Goff, a white store employee, revealed a youthful crush. His greeting expressed hope that white people would someday like black people and concluded, "I love your name, I love your voice. For SH, sweetheart, you are my choice." After reading the card, Cynthia's father, Phil Goff, brought two friends to the Howard home and demanded to see Willie. Despite his mother's pleading, the men dragged Willie away and then kidnapped Willie's father, James Howard, from work. The men drove the two Howards, I should say, to the embankment of the Suwannee River, bound Willie's hands and feet, stood him at the edge of the water, and told him to either jump or be shot. Willie
I know I'll let her finish reading it, guys, but I know what she's about to try to do.
Jumped into the cold water below and drowned while his father was forced to watch at gunpoint. Willie's dead body was pulled from the river the next day. You said that during the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silverman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success. So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would BS?
What? Let me finish. Hold on. Let them finish.
And say that at that time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing.
Well, first of all, Joy, the story you bring up and you're bringing up is a tragedy, one of the great tragedies of the Jim Crow era. This is why those policies were so they were disgusting and distasteful. All I was talking about, Joy, was the benefit of a man in the family.
She's not gonna let him answer.
Again, sir, I'm sorry.
Joy,
I let you talk for a long time. Sorry, no. Talk over you. You've gotten a chance to speak a lot, Congressman.
You asked me a question. Trump hair.
You're going to answer my question now and not filibuster. This is the question you want. This is the question you need to answer.
That's what I'm trying to answer. That's what I'm trying to answer, Joy.
Give me a second. Take a breath.
Nope. Nope. You're going to let me answer.
If a black man
you're going to let me answer.
Protect, it's my show. If
and you asked me. See what I'm saying? And you asked me to come on.
And a black.
I didn't ask you to come on. Who volunteers and want to go reach out to you to want to come on your show? You asked me to come on.
Black father could not protect his
I would love to go on here.
Son or himself from lynching and violence. How is him being in the home mean that is an era that was better for the black family, or that we should think of as a good thing?
First of all, Joy, I never said that it was better for black people in Jim Crow. I have never said that, and even my own words say that. If you're talking about the importance of black fathers in the home, or frankly, all fathers in the home, it is always for the betterment of children, to have leadership, yes, for safety. So having two people in the home to help provide the economic needs for those children so the family can succeed. That is a wonderful thing. We should always get back to that, not to Jim Crow. And this is the point of the gaslighting and the lying that is occurring with what I said. Don't try to impose the fact that the marriage rates were better in the higher, I want to be clear, higher in the Jim Crow era to mean that I think Jim Crow is great. That is a lie. That is gaslighting. I would never say such a thing, which is why the Jim Crow era was destructive of black people.
You brought it up.
What does that mean? So what? What does that mean? Okay, I ate a popsicle. He had a cigar in his hand too. You had a cigar. You had a cigar. You had a cigar. You had a cigar. So what? What is that? And then this story you told, what did that have to do with anything about people being married? Despite of that husband losing his son at gunpoint, what was he supposed to do? If he's bound with a gun to his head, what is he going to do? What can he do? What can he do? That had nothing to do with the fact that the boy had a father who was in the home with a mother, married.
You're the one who brought it up.
Look, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why y'all, I told y'all. Look, whoa. They made me disappear. This is why I know that places like this show, The View, this is why they will never, ever have somebody like me on their show, because I will be able to rip into them. I'm not a politician. I'm no respected person. I'm going to give it right back to you like you throw it at me. Byron did a good job keeping the professionalism. You know, he would be an awesome VP. But man, y'all, woo, when can somebody fire back at these folks, man? I'm serious. Maybe it's because of the way I can come back at them. It's a little bit of the street, the hood that's still in me to be able to come right back at them with that, because I know what they're doing to call out the bull crap. Seriously, that was absolutely ridiculous, the example that she gave. I thought black people were, how come he come? Dude, that was dumb. I would have flat out told her that was stupid. Anyway, y'all, I know I took out a lot of y'all time on this. I hope y'all really enjoyed this. Nice stream here. I appreciate everybody coming in here in this chat. I know y'all had a lot to say on this. I know a lot of you guys were pissed. And again, if you want to find this stuff out, look it up. The stats that I broke down to you guys comes from a lot of research stuff, stats and things like that from Thomas Sowell books, Jason Riley, those books like that. I highly recommend them. Jason Riley has an awesome book called, oh my God, it's called False Black Power. Highly recommend it. Just look up Thomas Sowell. Any books that Thomas Sowell wrote, get all of them. See what I'm saying? Why is it that y'all want to keep talking like all black people ever were good for was being beat, sexually assaulted, forced to detassel corn and all? How come you're not talking about what I gave y'all the stats of what black people were doing? That was in New York that had a large population, but it was things that was happening worldwide, nationwide. Let me say that. Nationwide is on yo. No, I'm just playing. It was happening nationwide with us increasing in all these different occupations in spite of Jim Crow. And that says a lot about us. That's why there's no excuse. They only try to use race and make it seem like the only way black people are going to be able to advance is if we eradicate racism everywhere. Folks, it's a wrap. It's over. We had somebody become a president, possibly about to have a black vice president, a real black vice president, that is. Come on now. No excuses now. There is nothing that can stop any Negro, black folk, brown folk from doing whatever they want to do here in America right now. You will not be able to tell me otherwise. Prove me wrong. Don't forget to hit this right here before y'all get out of here. Please, please, please. And make sure, if y'all can, let somebody know about this video, because I know those stats that I broke out and told y'all about, y'all probably never heard it before. I know that during that Jim Crow era, when I brought up those things of what black people were doing, some of you never heard it before. So if you know that there's anybody that would benefit from this, share it with them. Get into your phones. Let somebody know about this particular video. Have them watch it. If anybody want to debate that, we can have a debate over it live. Anyway, let me know what y'all think, all right? Okay? Look, I know y'all are here in the live chat, but please leave something in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up button before y'all get out of here, all right? I'm Ty Smith, Model Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothes, and most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.